Hello everyone, Minda Plus Meditation here. It is Sunday, February the 4th. It is the 5th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Lent is coming soon, only 1.5 weeks away. The first reading today is taken from the book of Job. Job spoke to his friends, "Does not the human being have a hard service on earth, and are not their days like the days of a laborer, like a slave who longs for the shadow, and like a laborer who looks for their wages? So I am allotted months of emptiness, and nights of misery are apportioned to me." Basically, Job is communicating here that sometimes life, this is my language of course, really sucks. At least from an experiential point of view. We can't romanticize it, right? It's just darn difficult sometimes. That doesn't mean that God has abandoned us. That God is somehow, as we would say, with our understanding of this word, punishing us because somehow we've ticked him off, or that God doesn't care about what's going on around us. I don't pretend to have answers to the mystery of suffering. I do know that God has given us all that we need in order to alleviate a great deal of it. But we spend, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars every year on war machines when we could be doing research into good forms of medicine. We have enough food and the capability to feed everyone on the planet, but we won't, and we don't. Is that God's fault? You're darn right it's not. It's because we're greedy, we're selfish, we kill each other, and then we blame it on God, which is so cheap, right? It's so superficial. It's, God becomes the scapegoat because we won't take responsibility. It's like it's her fault. It's like in the Garden of Eden, right? When God says, "Why did you do this?" It's her fault, the woman you put me with, right? He doesn't take responsibility, and we won't take responsibility. We keep doing this over and over and over again. That's why when we go to confession, we need to say what I've done, not what my wife has done. Who cares? You're not there to confess your wife's sins or your colleague's sins or your assistant priest or your pastor or your bishop's sins or your children's sins. You're there, this is what I did. I repent, I confess, We take responsibility and then we make some acts of amendment to try and make it better as best as we can, repair the damage we've done. So Job is expressing the fact that life is just sometimes difficult. But read Job through. He remains faithful to the Lord no matter how difficult, dark, and how many difficult, painful things he has to deal with in life. So he is an example for all of us. Second reading, taken from 1 Corinthians chapter 9. "Brothers and sisters, if I proclaim the gospel, this gives me no ground for boasting, for an obligation is laid on me, and woe to me if I do not proclaim the gospel. For if I do this of my own will, I have a reward. But if not of my own will, I am entrusted with a commission. What then is my reward? Just this, that in my proclamation I make the gospel free of charge, so as not to make full use of the rights of the gospel." So Paul understands here, that he's doing what he's doing because Christ has told him. He's not out to make money. Yes, he has a right for basic needs, but he's basically doing this because Jesus has charged him to do this. Paul would not have done what he's doing had Jesus not appeared to him, Jesus not commissioned him to do what he did, revealed in fact that he was the Messiah. And this is something important for all of us because it's so easy for the material benefits we can accrue to go to our head, from preaching the gospel to go to our head, and to seek those things rather than to seek the Lord. And the Lord will give us another example in the gospel that we're going to read that he gave us yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So we'll go right into this, the gospel, and that is, as soon as Jesus and his disciples left the synagogue, they entered the house of Simon and Andrew. So he cures Simon's mother-in-law. She gets up and waits on them. So right away she begins to serve others, which is a lesson for all of us to follow. But it's in the morning while it was still very dark, and he heals all these people possessed with demons. So he's tired. In the morning while it was still very dark, Jesus got up and went out to a deserted place, and there he prayed. And they hunt for him and said, "Everyone is searching for you." He answered, "Let us go to the neighboring town so that I may proclaim the message there, for that is what I came out to do." So Jesus will never let the crowds sort of hold on to him, right? He wants them basically to follow him, but not hold on to him, not cling to him, as it were, but to hear his message and to give themselves over to God completely through him, because I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And then he always goes and prays. So do you go and pray at the end of the day? Give, just even a little time in prayer. Start the day with prayer before it all begins, 15 minutes. And then at the end of the day, thank God for everything that's happened, good and bad. Ask him, that you're able to spend the evening really well with your family if you're married and have children, that you're able to be for them. And hopefully they're praying to be for you, so that you're for each other and you're building each other up, rather than, clashing all the time because you're tired and you've been, whatever, you've encountered all these negative things throughout the day. So we need to do this, and it's so easy to forget. So let us remember what Jesus exemplifies for us, that we start the day with prayer, and at the end of the day, we also try to make time to pray. Be alone with the Father just as he was. God bless you.